that area too, when we have the snakes?
Not at all.
That's not one of the choices. Okay, so just a few little things. Okay, so this is a Natural History Museum of Jerusalem. What we have to keep in mind is it's a general natural history museum. That means it's not just stuff from Israel. So even in one display case, it could be animals that are not necessarily from Israel. Okay, so we kind of have to pick our way. The things, one, we're not looking at everything they have in Israel. We're trying to look at the things that we have specifically on our test. So, and I have to have my notes because I don't always remember what's on our test either. So we want to try to cover the things that are here that are on our test, but we don't want to cover all kinds of things that aren't necessary. We don't want to confuse you if possible. Just like we were discussing, the goal to learn all these things is actually not just to look at our books or to go to the botanical garden. Those are good resources, but we want to constantly be looking around us. We want to be aware of what we're looking at, what we're seeing. And one of the things that helps is, I think, like these are an extremely good resource because you can just carry those around with you wherever you go. You don't have to have a big notebook, and you can always look. This is also more or less the most common birds, for example, or flowers, or whatever. Of course, you have to figure out what we have to study. But these basically you can carry in your pocket or your backpack, and you can just take them out all the time. So this is one suggestion I would make to help you learn things, is always be trying to learn. This is how it's going to sink in. You can come to the end of the semester and cram it all in the last week before the test, and you'll probably pass the test, but you won't know the material. So that's not the goal. There's also, this is also a small book that I would recommend. It's, more in detail than one of these little guys, but it's small, easily carryable, and it has a lot more information. So this is
Can you hold it up one more time?
I'm pretty sure this is Steinmatsky. Yeah, this is published by Steinmatsky. So, and there's lots of books, but another one that's kind of difficult, maybe reptiles, and this is a very good resource. Keep in mind that they don't always use the name in English that we use for the name in English. So sometimes figure out what's what. That can be the case in any resource, actually. Even some of these, they don't necessarily use the same name in English. So how do we know that it's the same thing that we're looking at?
Latin.
The Latin name, right? So sometimes you might have to do a little research. Okay. In any case, that's the best way to learn it. And that's what I do. I carry these things around, not everywhere like in Jerusalem. I know pretty much most of the stuff, but if I'm hiking or anything, I always have little guidebooks to look up stuff that I don't know. Or I might press a flower in a book and then or a plant and then bring it back and figure out what it is. Actually, might use this one now. Okay. So, for example, this cabinet here is jungle, and there's nothing here that's in Israel at all in this cabinet. Right? Okay. But so one thing we said was we were looking in our stuff in our books, but it doesn't always give you a good idea what the size of the animal is. So obviously this display is showing you some of the tunnels and burrows that animals make. So first of all, does anybody recognize this guy here?
Diamonds are together, so this is the Palestinian viper.
This is the Palestinian viper. Okay, so you can see he burrows. This is the most common poison snake in Israel. But he's not always this color. He can also be other colors depending upon his environment. Alright. How about this guy here? Looks a lot more. It'll probably look a little bit bigger to you on your thing, okay? What did we remember? He has eyes, but he really can't see. They're little tiny ones, and it's covered with a fur patch. How about up here? What do we see? This snake up on top. If you look in the back there. Go ahead, you guys. Maybe everybody take a peek, and then we'll.
Oh, that's vipers. The dots aren't connected, so that's a certain kind. Oh, good for you. Remember to bring them. Yeah. Oh, it's a color.
Let's stand by for is in hibernation.
Yeah, these guys, they just stay there all the time.
That's their whole thing.
So that's the coin mark snake, right? Is the coin mark snake poisonous or not poisonous? No, he's not poisonous, right? Okay. So actually, there's a lot of rodents and a lot of snakes who are burrowing, and a lot of time you won't see them above the ground. If you do, a lot of them, they're only out during the night. So we learn them, but it's not necessarily that we're going to see them very easily. So we have to keep that in mind. Okay, that's the only one that I've got. Okay, let's over here. Okay, what kind of a zone do you think we're looking at here just from the background?
Mediterranean.
And what else?
Yemen Moshe.
Yamin Moshe. Yamin Moshe. Ah, no, windmill. Yamin Moshe.
But it's an area where there's interaction with humans. It's not just completely wild, right? Does anybody recognize this snake here?
It's the horn viper.
Snake, yeah.
The great horn?
This is the Montpelier snake. What did we say about the Montpelier snake?
Montpelier snake.
According to its terrain.
No. This is the largest snake in Israel.
Oh.
And he's semi-poisonous. He's usually not life-threatening to humans, but he has, I guess, a mild venom probably.
Venomous or not?
Semi. They call this a semi-poisonous snake because it's not really dangerous to humans, but it does have a slight venom. Okay. And he's the biggest snake
In Israel.
Okay. At least potentially.
This is the one that
No, we're going to see that in a second. So that's okay, and this guy right here.
Lizard.
Chameleon?
No, this is not a chameleon.
He's the lizard.
This is actually the most common lizard in Israel.
Not careful.
Actually, so I get there's a couple different, especially for reptiles, there's more than one English name, so I just want to make sure I get the one that you have on your list. Let's see here. Yes, it's star agama, but I don't think that's the term that's on your list. Starred lizard, okay? But he's also called the starred agama because he's a specific family of lizards, which is agama.
Triangular thing.
They usually have a body that will really flatten out, and they have a very distinct head color. And if you look at the ear, they have these huge ear holes. Okay, so that's a agama in general. So in any case, this is the star lizard, that's what you're calling it, and it's the most common lizard in Israel. I think that's the only ones on our list that are on that in this place here. Okay, what kind of environment are we looking at here?
Desert. Desert.
Okay, so do you recognize any of these
Sandfishy. Sandfishy.
sandfish? What else is he called?
Skinker.
Skink.
Skink.
And actually, this display cabinet is wrong. Okay, so just so you know, if you're taking pictures, they mislabeled at least a couple of these. Okay, so we have the sand skink. You see this little snake right there?
Maybe
That's the lesser horned viper. This little tiny guy.
home viper.
Oh, wow.
Remember, I told you he's small.
Oh,
Wow.
very small.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, how about this guy right here?
It's the...
Nope, he's not the aggressive one. The aggressive one is bigger. He might not be happy if you grab him, but they might all be aggressive.
Is it dab?
This is the dab lizard.
Dab lizard?
Okay, and here's the ornate dab lizard. He's a lot smaller, but very colorful.
On its dab.
And how about the one with the blue head there?
Oh, blue head.
This is agama.
This is the Sinai agama.
Sinai agama.
Is that a male or a female? This is a male, okay.
Why?
And the Sinai agama, he changes colors.
Only the male changes colors?
They probably both change colors, but the female, her whole, like this guy, his whole body can turn blue. We saw the picture, but usually his head will. This is during mating season. They can also change colors for other reasons, but the female, like she might get a little blue splotch, but she's not going to turn really blue like that. Okay, I think that's the one. This?
So there is male.
Yeah, because of the
Color.
blue.
But you can see him. He's also an agama. Remember, he has the big ear holes, and they have this big, distinct head as compared to other types of lizards. Okay. Okay, how about here? Does anybody recognize any of these tortoises? This is the Greek tortoise. What did we say? What differentiates between a tortoise and a turtle?
Land or sea?
Water. Okay, he lives on land.
Land, tortoise.
What type of animal is he? He's a reptile, actually.
Reptile.
Still a reptile.
Oh,
So-
they lay eggs.
He lays eggs. They usually have some sort of a scaly skin. Okay. How about this guy up here?
Chameleon. Chameleon. Chameleon.
What did we say about the common chameleon? What were the distinct? We said 5 distinct characteristics of a chameleon.
Prehensile tail.
Prehensile tail that can wrap around things.
Changes color.
Changes color.
That's 2. Somebody hold out your hand and keep track here. What else?
Eyes,
His eyes can go different. Each eye can go different directions at the same time.
Different directions at the same time.
He has opposing digits, so you can grab things. What was the other thing actually? Have to think about it. Oh yeah, the tongue. The tongue is extremely fast and it can go. It's the same length as his body.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, his tongue will come out and catch a fly in 0.04 seconds.
0.04.
It's the same one down, right?
Which one?
Down. This one?
No. This is a green lizard, and he's not even necessarily in Israel.
Is it lizard? It looks like a
Green lizard.
So this, we want to just concentrate on the ones that I discussed, because some things they might not even be in Israel, even in these.
Okay.
This is the sand boa.
Sand boa.
This guy up there. Remember, he's the only boa in Israel. Is he poisonous or not poisonous?
No.
Not poisonous. How does he?
Squeezes, constricts.
He constricts. He wraps his body around his victim and he squeezes him to death. How about this guy?
Palestinian Bible.
Palestinian viper. Once again. Let's see. How about this snake over the corner? This is the coin mark snake again. Okay.
And they've mislabeled this as a turtle rather than a tortoise.
Yeah, that's right. So you gotta be careful here. We're gonna find some other things that they mislabel too. But you guys already have the skills to figure that out yourselves. Okay. And? Sudanian penetration zone. This is the predator that's mentioned most in the Bible, approximately 150 times in the Bible the lion's mentioned, so it's very widespread, and of course you didn't want to get caught by one.
And this is the lion that was here in the land.
Yeah. So obviously there's different subspecies of lions, right? And there's no, the one that's here, I think it's completely extinct in the world now. It was an Asiatic lion. I'm not sure about that, but if there is any left or not, I mean, certainly isn't any left in Israel except for in zoos and stuff. But they are a little bit smaller than the African lion, for example. It doesn't help you if you catch it. Okay, what's this?
Cheetah.
Cheetah. And what areas do we find cheetahs in?
Sudanian.
Desert, Irano-Mediterranean, open places, right? How does he catch his prey?
Chases them.
He chases it down and catches it. Okay, how about these guys here?
Coney.
Hyrax, Coney.
Coney.
Okay. And we said that it's related to what? Larger animal? Elephant. Supposedly there's some relationship. Why? Because the tusks actually, the tooth structure. Okay, this guy here, this is a jungle cat. So
Jungle cat.
he can be exactly the size of a cat, but here he's a little bit bigger than a normal cat. Okay? So, yeah, that's that. What's this guy?
Hair.
Brown hair.
Hair.
How did we differentiate a hare from a rabbit?
Babies are ready to go when they're born.
Babies are ready to go. So they're born with hair
Rabbits burrow.
and their eyes open.
Rabbits are bald.
The rabbits, they're bald and they're blind when they're born, and they can't see yet, and they're in a burrow. They make a burrow and they have a little nest in there. But these, they don't make a burrow. They're just born right behind a bush or something, and soon after they're born, they're ready to go. Okay. How about this guy up here? Nope. Okay. This is a stone marten.
Keep going, Eric, keep going.
What kind of an area do you think these guys are found in? Look at the background.
Woodland.
So we're talking more Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is actually a house mouse. So that's actually on your list too.
House mouse. House mouse.
Okay. What animal is this here? Roe deer. Okay, so that's really the full-grown size. They don't really get much bigger than that. So this is quite common in Europe, but if you're from North America, you wouldn't be used to seeing this guy. So there are a few wild specimens in Israel, but for the most part, it's stink. Okay, how about look at this one? Who can tell me what's this here? Which one? Huh?
Mountain gazelle.
Yeah, but look at it. Is it? No, it's the Dorcas gazelle. This one's also mislabeled. It's not the mountain gazelle. But what we do have to keep in mind is there's interbreeding, right? So sometimes we might have mixed characteristics. But in any case, this is not the common characteristics you would see for a mountain gazelle. This is a Dorcas gazelle.
It's Dorcas. Dorcas gazelle.
Because of the no black.
Okay, so there's usually the Dorcas gazelle will have a black stripe along the side and a
Not
black.
the mountain gazelle has.
The mountain gazelle. Should I just mix it up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, and when you look at his horns, the Dorcas gazelle, they point inward at the top. And usually on the mountain gazelle, they're more straight at the top.
More straight. Mountain
Okay, so-
gazelle horns are more straight.
And then we have the golden squirrel here, right? Which we said, as far as we know, there hasn't been any seen in Israel since at least 1984.
And what was his deer?
This is the roe deer.
The roe deer.
And actually for a roe deer, this is a pretty good set of antlers. Okay, so does anybody, what's the difference between horns and antlers? Antlers fall off every year. Horns, they never fall off. Okay?
Every year?
Every year.
Oh, so it grows very fast.
Yeah, they grow fast. Okay, so their horns and antlers are not the same thing. Okay, are these clean or unclean?
Clean.
So that both the deer and the gazelle are clean. Of course, the squirrel is unclean. Okay, we'll come over here and work our way.
Clean. Kosher.
Okay. Tyson, how much do you have here? Hedgehog, which hedgehog? This is the, actually, yeah, European hedgehog. This is the golden jackal. And everybody probably recognizes this guy up here. Leopard.
Brown bear. Muzaga hadash.
Okay, what's this bird, this gray bird in the back? Hooded crow. Yeah, these
Number
hooded
3.
crows, this is a very common bird.
Canis
What's the cat up there?
can.
African wildcat.
This is the wildcat. That's the jungle cat. This is the wildcat. Okay? So he looks very similar to a cat. And this is actually a pretty big one. Okay? So they do kind of have some noticeable stripes, but they don't look that much different than a cat. And this guy can also be the size of just a normal cat.
Jungle cat.
Okay, so here we have
This is a
the
wild cat,
Wild cat.
wildcat jungle cat.
but they look very.
Yeah. Okay,
Wild cat.
so obviously a brown bear.
Brown
What are
bear.
these birds over here?
Quail?
But they're all in the same family, and they're close. This is the chucker. Remember, he looks like he has the.
Band on his eyes.
Chuckle.
The masked chuck.
That's just 새 이름.
Okay, how about these little
Chuckle.
birds right here?
Sparrows.
Sparrows. This
Sparrow.
is the most common bird. Right? This
Sparrow.
dog-looking thing back here. What's that? Wolf. Arava wolf. Okay.
Wolf.
Here's your mongoose.
What wolf?
We got this bird.
A ray.
This isn't on your list. He is in your book. This is if you look in your book, but he's not one of the ones that you have to know.
It's called a roll, I think, actually. Well, there's probably more than one name in English.
Oh, vulture.
Okay, this big bird up here.
Griffin vulture?
Griffin vulture.
Nesher in Hebrew.
Nesher.
Okay. Indian crested porcupine, very common actually. Porcupines all over the place.
Really?
They're usually out at night. But you'll find porcupine quills everywhere.
That size?
Yeah. There is one different, like the porcupines in the U.S., a lot of them will climb trees, but these usually, they don't climb trees.
Porcupine.
Okay, but this is one of the biggest rodents.
Is it porcupine?
I don't know.
Here we go. This bird is on your list up here.
Palestinian sunbird?
No?
No, it has a little.
You'll see. European bee eater.
Okay.
European bear.
But they both have the long.
Hair.
You'll see. We're going to see the sunbird. He's a lot smaller, actually.
It's like a hummingbird.
Okay. How about this guy?
Hyena.
Hyena.
Striped hyena.
Striped hyena.
This is actually another Montpelier snake, but he's quite different, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy?
Honey badger.
Which badger?
Honey badger.
Honey badger. What's his environment?
Same.
Desert. Okay. How about these guys here?
Desert.
This is the Eurasian badger. Okay, and they're commonly also in burrows in the ground. How about there's a little guy sitting on a ledge back there?
That would be
Close.
bear.
This is the marbled polecat.
Really? It doesn't look like a skunk.
He
It
smells
looks like a
skunk.
ferret.
I didn't say he looks like a skunk. I said he has a very nasty.
Skunk?
He looks totally different in the look. No, he's not a skunk.
Okay, and how about this guy up here in the corner?
It's your fox.
Common red fox.
Common red fox.
Okay.
That is so, that's
Okay,
smelly.
so once again, we talked about the
The
crocodiles.
small
So there's a lot
animal
of
is
boar.
very smelly.
You can see he can get pretty big.
Like skunk.
And you don't want to mess around with mommy when she's got little
Wow.
kids.
Wild pig.
What's the difference between crocodiles and alligators?
How do you say in textbook?
Freshwater or saltwater?
Wild
Generally, there
boar.
is a difference between
Wild.
freshwater and saltwater, but that can be mixed a little bit too. But the crocodiles, the teeth, they're out even with the mouth closed. And there is a difference also where they generally you got crocodiles in saltwater and alligators in freshwater. But
Doesn't alligators have longer noses than the crocodiles?
there is a
Have a
difference in
blunt
the
nose?
shape as well. But the easiest one to spot is whether the teeth are sticking out with the mouth closed. But he's not on your list, so that's just.
If you see him, his mouth is probably not going to be closed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Big boy.
Yeah, that's the marble polecat.
Okay.
And we can,
So here, once again, we have several animals that aren't even in Israel, but we have the European hedgehog and the long-eared hedgehog, and we have the fruit bat. Okay. So what we said actually that the bat is the type of animal family that has the second largest number of different species in Israel, but the fruit bat is the only one who eats fruit. The rest eat insects, so he's quite different, but he's very distinct.
And he can,
He's a mammal.
and he can see.
He can see well. Most bats don't see well. Okay.
Not bros.
They have great
Compared to
vision.
going.
Remember that they spend about half of their life upside down. They give birth while they're upside down. Yeah. They don't have a nest or anywhere where they have them. They just have them hanging upside down. So this is quite unique.
Little owl. Scops owl.
Actually, I don't know.
Barn owl.
I would guess
Seems
that
awkward,
I would guess
doesn't
that
it?
they're hanging on.
Hanging upside down too.
Okay, fly.
Wow.
Okay. So we have 2 owls. We have the barn owl and what's this guy called? The little owl. Not. And we said there's a unique feature about their feathers, even related to other predators. And if you look at the end of the feathers, they feather out. And this feathering out makes them basically silent when they fly. They can sneak up on their prey. And that's not the case. You can hear other predators flying. They come in fast and get them. These guys can just sneak up. So there's an example. If you just look at the edge of the feathers, they're kind of, not the sharp edge. This is the little owl, and that's the barn owl. Okay. So, here we go. So, here we have, these are bee eaters. Which bee eater do you have that you have to know? Actually, I don't remember. Just so we get it right. Get the birds. Someone on here? There. Okay, so you need the European bee eater, which is this guy up here. That's the one that you should learn. Here's the gray shrike. What was unique about the gray shrike?
He impales.
He impales his prey on thorns. This is an extra. This one you don't need to know, but which one is that?
It's the,
That's the turtle dove. Okay.
It's a little one.
This guy you need to know.
Dove. Pigeon.
Rock dove or feral pigeon. Right?
Rock dove.
What does feral mean?
Peace.
It was a domesticated animal that has gone into the wild and now it's wild. Okay? What's this guy? We just looked at him over there.
He's the
Chucker.
Chunker.
How about this guy right here? Sparrows.
Sparrow. Kind of looks.
What are the ones?
Do we need to know that top one? It's not the barn swallow, but the swift.
This is a swift. Actually,
Swift.
so remember he has a split tail. The swift has a straight tail.
Tail is.
Here's your partridge actually. Here's the sand partridge right there. So they're quite similar. They're definitely related.
Are they typical small? Is that one smaller usually than the chuck?
Yeah. Remember, both of these guys, they'll run first, and they don't fly that far. They'll fly if they have to, but it's usually just a short distance.